Hey everybody, welcome back to another Beard Guys video. Today I'm going to walk you through exactly how to unlock the 3x3 Safebox in Delta Force operations. They've changed how it works with Season 6. It's completely different to previous seasons and I think quite a lot easier to now get that 3x3, which is going to help you extract more loot from your operations. As you're probably aware, by default you just get a 2x1 Safebox. You can unlock an advanced 2x2 Safebox through events and also sometimes during the Battle Pass. If you buy the Premium Battle Pass, you'll get a 3x2 Safebox. The Premium Safebox, that's going to be unlocked for the entire season. And then to get the 3x3, you're going to have to do the missions that we're going to talk through now. Previously with these missions, you would have to do every single seasonal mission to unlock it. That's no longer the case. You only have to do some of them. To find these, we go to Department, or Dept as it's now abbreviated to, and then instead of them being on this page, they're now in their own tab of season missions here. And this page can get quite confusing, but basically what we're looking at here is three different sections. It says Operation Directive. This is basically your kind of core missions. There's loads of missions within this in little trees, and that's the bulk of the missions you're going to be doing. What they've then done is they've separated out the collector missions and then the especially hard missions. So we have collector's missions here, and then we have the hard missions here. I don't mean they have to be done in hard mode, I just mean these are the harder missions that you tend to see in the seasonals. And what they've done is they made it so instead of having to do loads of different collectors, you only have to do 2 collectors in order to unlock your 3x3, and you only have to do 2 fake contracts, which is 2 of the particularly hard missions to get that 3x3 as well. You then have to do almost all of the Operation Directive missions, not all of them, but most of them, and we'll talk through that in just a sec. Once you've unlocked the 3x3, you'll have that until the end of the season, and then there's a kind of fancier version of the 3x3 you can unlock as well by completing absolutely everything if you want. Doing this will give you this kind of sub-rosa skin on your 3x3. It also gives you an inspection animation on your Safebox. And it's also a requirement for the Prestige badge. I'm not sure if this is the same as the DF Pinnacle badge, but it's listed as being a requirement in the patch notes for getting the Prestige badge. So that's basically what you're trying to do here. You're getting this cool skin on it, you're getting an inspection animation, and you'll get a unique badge unlocked as well. That is for completing literally everything in here, but the 3x3 most people are worried about you can do a lot more easily. We'll have a look at Directive first. So these are ones you're going to be doing a lot of, and you can see in here, I'm just on the first tier. There's 4 different tiers of missions here. 2, 3, and 4 are currently locked. You can see here, in order to unlock the next tier, I'll need to complete the main missions from the previous tier and get 16 stars. You can see it says 0 out of 20. There's 20 possible stars available in tier 1. I need to get 16 of those to unlock tier 2 and do the main objective. The main objective is this top one here. It says main objective, and there's 10 stars available for doing that. And those ones below are all the side quests, and we can click those and see what these missions are going to be actually in advance. We can also go down and accept all of these at once. We don't have to wait till we've done different ones. We can have lots of different missions ongoing at the same time. I've got all of these first tier missions accepted and in progress at the moment. You can also view these in a bit of a mission tree similar to previous seasons. If I click mission overview, that's going to bring me to this page. And what we're looking at here is the main objective we were just talking about at the top here with that first mission we've unlocked. And then we've got these mystery missions as we work through it. So these are the ones you have to do, this top tier here. You're going to have to work through that tree of missions. And then these are the side missions you're going to have to get some stars from. So you needed, what was it, 16 stars? 16 stars. So we're going to have to do all of the main ones. That's going to give us 10, and then we need another 6. So basically you're going to have to do maybe these top 2 here, deployment operation and whatever it is in supply lines. That would give you 6 stars, or you could do a mixture of 3 of the other ones to get the 6 that's needed. As you can see, these ones are all pretty easy at the moment. They're going to get more challenging as the tiers go up, but they're still not going to get too crazy in here. Once we unlock tier 2, there's going to be more missions in that, and again we're going to have a main objective we have to complete, and then some side missions. We'll have to get a certain amount of stars, 22, to unlock tier 3 and complete the main mission, and then likewise same for 4, and then we have to work through that. Like I said, that's the bulk of your missions you're going to have to do there. You've got 53 days to do it, by the way. That's when the season is going to end, and we'll get season 7. And you can see over on the right hand side here it says requirements for, again, this 3x3, reach the final stage of the Operation Directive, that's what we were just talking about, and complete the prerequisite mission for the final mission. So once you've basically done all of this directive stuff and got to the end of that, you also need to then make sure you've done some collector and fake contracts. We have to do 2 of these each. We don't have to do 1 of 6. We just need this to say 2 out of 6. For collectors, the page looks a little bit like this now. So rather than submitting tons of stuff, you have these 3 different things here, and these will refresh automatically every 24 hours, and it will show some different options for things you can submit. These have to be unbound items. So that's items you've extracted from a raid raid, not items you've bought or been dropped by a teammate. And these will automatically refresh every day, or you can manually refresh them by clicking this thing in the top right. And these might look quite hard, but you also have to submit a lot less stuff because you only need to do 2. I've already done 1. I had one yesterday where I had to submit Reese's phonograph and the fossil. So that's about 1.2, 350, so about 1.6 mil worth of stuff that I submitted there. You could keep re-rolling these till you get ones that are a bit cheaper, or you can just use one that you have already. It's always a good habit to hang on to some reds, especially if you use your collection room. That's what I tend to do. I have my collection room down here, and then I keep one of each unique red in this collection room that are unbound that I've found in raids, and I use them exactly for this. So I took those out of my collection room. You can see I've got a bunch of different ones in here, and if we manage to refresh and see one of these ones in the collector's missions, then I could take them out of my collection room and I'd be able to submit them there. And it's obviously up to me whether I want to do that with expensive items or not. So if we go back to collectors here, you can see I've done 1 of 6. I only need to do 1 more, and then that's all the collectors I need to do. This thing I don't own. I don't have a top secret server unbound. This one, I do have one of these in my collection room. It will say 0 out of 2 because it's not in my stash, it's in my collection room. I don't have any of these communication satellites. To be honest, to get 4 of those sounds a little hard work over the season. They're not crazy uncommon, but to get 4 of those is going to be pretty hard work, I think, so we will refresh that. This one at the bottom here, however, I think is relatively easy. So Saeed's pocket watch, I've got one of these already in my collection room, and they're relatively common to find as a red, these 200k reds, so I'm pretty confident I would find one of these probably over the next couple of weeks. And then these golden cups and the crowns, I've already got a few, and they're very, very common in safes on normal difficulty and above. So this one is kind of a maybe, and what I've actually done here is I've clicked this lock button here. So this is going to lock this even when we refresh, and if I click refresh up here, I get 3 attempts, but it's not going to refresh this bottom one. It's just going to do the other 2, and you see that's refreshed now. And we've got 2 different ones. We've got this one which requires a pocket watch and the power battery pack, but I don't have one of those. I do have the watch, but not the pack. And then this middle one wants 2 of these gazelles and 4 mantle clocks. Again, I got 1 mantle clock. Getting 3 more of them is kind of going to be pretty hard work. So again, we'll just refresh these. I'm going to leave this bottom one locked because that's one I'm going to hang on to, and we'll try and chip away at that. So we'll refresh these again. There we go, 1 laptop. I might have one of those in my collection room. We'll go and have a look in a sec. Fuel cell I have. Large radio station I don't have, and I don't think I've ever seen one of those in game. These things are relatively common as a red. So let's just go and check if we actually have a laptop in our collection room, and then we can decide if we want to submit that or not. So we do have a laptop there. We could just submit that one. How much is that going to be worth? They are a lot cheaper than they used to be. 2.9 mil though. So I don't know if I really want to submit that. That's a pretty expensive item right now. I think we'll just hold out and see if we can get something cheaper. It doesn't really matter about rushing these very much because obviously I've got loads of other missions to complete at the moment. So there's no point throwing 3 mil at this collectors until we really need to. So we'll just refresh these once more, and we'll just keep an eye on them and see if we can get one easier. As you can see, that one would have cost us 3 mil. If we manage to do this bottom one, shiny little things, we're only going to submit here, what, about 450k on the 2 reds, and then just under a mil on the 2 gold items. So maybe 1.4, 1.5 mil worth of stuff for this one here. But let's refresh again and see what we get. So we've got a Mandelbrot supercomputer. Again, I do think I have one of those, and I do think I have a disk array and one of these, but they're pretty expensive. So we'll just keep refreshing these, and I'll hold out and I'll see if I can chip away at shiny little things. Obviously, if you want the premium 3x3, you're going to have to do 6 of these. So these are going to be pretty expensive for you. You're probably going to be throwing some pretty big reds at that. You get these keycard copy packs as you go up through each tier as well. They're not especially interesting. I mean, they are gold and red keycards, but they're just copies, so you only get 4 durability on each one there. Just remember to use the lock thing. If you found one that you like, make sure you lock it. Otherwise, it's going to automatically refresh overnight. Even if you don't press this button, it will automatically refresh. So you got to do 2 of those to get your 3x3, and then fake contracts, you got to do 2 as well. These are basically difficult missions. You can only have one of these active at a time, but you can do them right at the beginning of the season. And there's also ones that gradually unlock over a period of time. So at the moment, we have Family Plan, Thrifty, and Final Contact unlocked. In 4 days, we get Tide Falls, Domination Flagship in 11 days, and then these ones in 18 and 25 days. So you wouldn't be able to get the fancy 3x3 until this final one is open anyway in 25 days time. But these ones here you could accept. So we've got Thrifty here. This is one where you have to get 7.5 mil extracted without dying. We had a similar mission last season where you had to get a large value extracted. This doesn't have to be in one game. It just has to be without dying in between. So it could be over 3 or 4 raids as long as you don't fail an extract within that time. So a challenging mission, but it's made a lot easier by the fact that you can accept this right now and be trying this from day 1 of the season rather than last season you would have had to wait until you were 90% of the way through your seasonal missions before it even unlocked, and then you'd be focusing on just that one mission. Whereas now, this is just something I have going on the side while I'm playing the game, and this will just happen naturally when I'm playing operations and have a few good games in a row. So I only need to do 2 of these. We've also got family plan. This is one where you have to get a boss kill on every different map, or 2 of them on Zero Dam. But you don't have to do this without dying in between, so it is one you can chip away at. It might be challenging to get the warden kill because you have to go on tied prison, which can be hard to get a game on. It can be very sweaty. It can have cheaters. It can have a lot of issues there. So that's the main hindrance to this one. The other ones aren't going to be too bad to do, but it's certainly achievable if you are willing to try a few games on tied prison. Then we have final contact. This is just the same as we've seen in previous seasons. This is the Mandelbrick kill. Pick up a Mandelbrick, kill a player while carrying it, then decode it, and then extract. We had exactly the same mission last season. It's another challenging one, but again, if you have this active from early on in the season, it's going to be a lot easier to achieve than it was in the previous season. So for me, just completing that Mandelbrick one and the 7.5 mil one, probably going to be the easiest for me. You only need to do 2 of the fate contracts, 2 collectors, complete all your operation directives, then that's going to unlock the final mission, whatever that is. Do that, and you'll get your 3x3 for the rest of the season. If you want any tips on individual missions, you know, like ones where you can't bring a vest in or you have to use a certain gun and stuff like that, drop a comment down below and ask people for some help there, and I and others will do our best to help you. It also might be worth checking out my video on season missions from last season, because I do go through all of the different mission types in detail, and lots of them are going to be very similar this season. They always have very similar ones, like kill people without medding, go in carrying this, go in without a rig or with only a helmet, stuff like that. And there's a few different ways you can kind of cheese these and get them done more quickly. So check out that video and you'll probably find some useful information there as well. So thanks very much for watching. Hopefully that all made sense. If you've got any tips for these based on your experiences so far, then drop them down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, why not drop a like and subscribe to the channel as well. Thanks so much for watching. My name's Ben. We are the Beard Guys, and I'll see you next time.